special edition today. This is our first joint interview with Jared, and we have Dan Bartels of the New York Post. This is a lot of social media work for him. So, Dan, thank you for joining. Obviously, he's focused on the Mets, so we're going to mix up Mets and Yankees a little bit here. We'll start with the Mets and everything. So, first off, thanks. And, how crazy is this time of year, with all this news coming out, even with other teams outside of New York?
It's crazy. Julian and Jared, thanks for having me on, number one. And I appreciate you guys. I've seen a lot of what you guys do. Keep going. It's actually really, really good stuff. And it's been crazy this whole offseason with the Mets. From the start to now, spring training just getting going. Today, you have injuries to Francisco Lindor, we'll talk about, and some movement with Juan Soto, too, which I didn't think they'd
Yes.
do it this early, moving him to left field, but we'll talk about that as well. It's just been crazy. I didn't think we would be at this point with Pete Alonso, Brandon Nimmo, Edwin Diaz. They all aren't Mets, but they're here, and we have to trust that Stearns is doing the right thing.
Yeah, it's been an absolutely crazy transition situation for the Mets, and so many additions, so many subtractions. No one could have saw the whole thing coming. They really did try to shake up that clubhouse culture, which they thought was an issue last year, obviously. So, what was your biggest surprise out of all that? I guess I could start there because there's probably a lot of surprises along the way.
Yeah, I mean, for me, there was a couple. One was Edwin Diaz. I don't know why he isn't the closer of the Mets right now. I mean, the goal
Yeah.
was to have Devin Williams and a guy like Luke Weaver being the setup man to both of them, and it's that's not the case. And it's a little frustrating, honestly, that Diaz is not here. Craig Kimbrell, we have to kind of rely on maybe he's the closer that we never saw coming, but I don't believe any of that. Honestly, I think Devin Williams is the guy, and that's kind of the biggest disappointment to me that it's not Edwin Diaz. But it is what it is. And then the Pete Alonso stuff. I mean, I just don't understand no offer. And you look at the Mets now. I could use Pete Alonso in this lineup, and
Yeah.
it's frustrating. But all the other moves, trading Brandon Nimmo, I think that was a long time coming. So yeah, those were the two big shots, Diaz and Alonso.
Yeah, I remember when those news broke. I hopped into your space, and I don't think I've ever heard you be mad, and you were very mad at that moment.
I just didn't understand the full picture, right? It was tough. And I think any fan that said fire Stearns at that moment was misguided. I don't think those are real Mets fans, if you want the truth. They don't understand that it's a long off season. And yeah, I was very frustrated to not have a homegrown player return and all the stuff that goes into the Mets where people laugh at the Mets. I'm sure a lot of your Yankee friends look at the Mets and say, this team got Juan Soto and they won 83 games. Like, how good are the Mets really at the end of the day? And a player like Pete was kind of that signal to the rest of baseball. Yeah, we got a good team. We got a big masher in the middle of this lineup, and it's a really vacant middle of this Mets lineup. If you want the truth, Brett Beatty's going to be the five hitter of this team. I mean, I'll see it when I believe it, but I certainly was not happy that night.
Yeah.
Y- Yeah, it seems like the Mets are going for a more contact based lineup this year. I mean, you have the addition of Bo Bichette, who's a high average guy who will hit with runners in scoring position, which is really good when you have a guy like Juan Soto in that lineup. But the moves were very shocking. No offer to Pete Alonso was extremely surprising to me. But David Stearns. I mean, you got Polanco, you got Bichette, and it looks like this is what they're going with into the season.
Contact heavy. And I don't know if that's the best choice. I mean, we look at baseball today. The Yankees are completely built the other way, right? They're built on home runs. They're built on power. They're built on, and it works for them. I'm not here to say it doesn't, but the Mets got to find that balance, and it's relying a lot on contact. You're not going to have a guy in this lineup outside of Juan Soto that can even touch 40 home runs, let alone 35 or 30. So it's going to be very interesting to see where that power comes from, and if it is all contact, you better be winning a lot of games. You better be a pretty good team. But that remains to be seen. The pitching's a mess too.
Yeah, it
Yeah, I
really
mean,
is.
you're complaining about all this like offense, and the story of last year was all of the pitching tumbling, and after the All Star break, you have to rely on all the kids, and as a Yankees fan, I really have no take on it, but I wouldn't really know how I would feel as a if I were a Mets fan at this moment.
Hey, you got to get good pitching. right? You need it from somewhere. We know we have a good top of the rotation. If you're a Mets fan, you have McLean, who you trust, and I know the industry thinks, oh, it's only 8 games. How good can McLean be? I think he's going to be pretty good, but that's just my opinion, and who knows? But we know Peralta's pretty good, right? So the Mets are building something in the rotation, but falls off a cliff pretty quick. Like Tobias Myers, Clay Holmes, who I do think is a very good pitcher, but Kodai Senga, Sean Manaea, there's a lot of unknowns with the Mets pitching staff right now.
Hmm.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I'm gonna go through some additions and subtractions. You already know them, but it's such a crazy laundry list.
Yeah.
Freddie Peralta, the biggest pitching addition, as you mentioned. You have some stability to top. McLean, I think, is solid, but we have to fully see. Not gonna be like, oh, it's only 8 games, like he's gonna be horrible. No, but like we don't know if he's gonna be as good as what we saw in the small sample size. Like you got to see how the league adjusts and how he adjusts, but he'll be good most likely. But Bichette was a huge addition. I think Luis Robert's one that's under the radar. Could be better than people think. Devin Williams and Luke Weaver, wild cards. Those could be hot and colds. Like it depends because relievers are so volatile, and that's where the Yankee crossover comes in with all the stealing of players and whatnot. When Soto, obviously the biggest one, but like Jorge Polanco, I like the addition, but I don't know if I like him playing first base. Marcus Simeon, good second baseman, but Bo Bichette might have been better at second. So there's a bunch of interesting pieces here, like how they put it together. Tobias Myers is a good swing man. Luis Garcia, veteran reliever. Like you mentioned, you lost the big three of Nemo Diaz Alonso, also McNeil, Jet Williams in the trades, Bro, Acuna. Tyler Rogers is probably a rough loss. Helsley won't do much because he wasn't too good. Neither was Mullins, Gregory Soto, and Stanek. Like you can get over those probably. And then MJ Melendez was brought in recently in a minor league deal.
Yeah, there's a lot of movement. I mean, clear as day, this team, and Stearns said it himself when he spoke a couple of weeks ago. He didn't really want anybody from the 25 team back in this clubhouse for 26, and that was
Yeah, we could tell.
right. Evident that all of those games,
Oh no, we
Uh-oh.
lost him. Oh, we could get him back.
can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, we're good. We're good.
Hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. I think Stearns, he better be right. And it's a big overhaul. It's a lot of new names. It's a lot of different, personalities in that clubhouse. But I think when push comes to shove, the flexibility of this Mets team, forget the names, forget their history and their back of their baseball cards. They're flexible players that can play different positions. That's something that the Mets really didn't have last year. Pete playing first, Lindor at short. You got McNeil at second. McNeil can move around, but there was really some weird points where you didn't have flexibility. Now you do, and it's pretty. I hope it does.
yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think there's some interesting things that are going to be brought up here. So
Yeah.
let's get right to the meat and potatoes, obviously. Then we'll kind of go into like other stuff that's not as severe. Francisco Lindor is a big problem right now. I don't believe David Stearns. I'm going to come out and say it. I don't think he's going to be ready for opening day at all because the hamate injury is a brutal injury. Benintendi went through it. He tried to come back early. He was not any good. I don't think he's going to be ready as quickly as they think, personally. Maybe I'm wrong, but like, first of all, he needs to get the surgery now. They shouldn't even wait. And even if he does get it, like, I don't think it's enough time.
No, and we'll have a decision tomorrow. I know he's consulting with other doctors tomorrow, and hopefully he'll have a decision. I think it's smart to say what you're saying and get the surgery, get it done, get it out of the way.
Yeah,
Because you do want Lindor to play, and the longer this lingers, and if he doesn't get the surgery, there's going to be questions. We see this with Sean Manaea. This guy had bone spurs in his elbow. He opted not to get the surgery, and a lot of Mets fans are saying, "Why didn't you just get the surgery? Like, we want you fully healthy. We already dealt with Manaea last year being behind the
yeah.
eight ball to begin the year. That's going to happen to Lindor this year if he decides to. I don't want to say put his ego above the team or anything like that, but you kind of are if you're not saying, okay, I'm not fully 100% to play, but I'm going to go out there anyway. No,
I agree with you. I think he'll end up getting it. Hopefully, I mean that's what I think will end up happening here because
yeah,
that's like not a good. That's a tough injury, like in that wrist bone area. Like that's no joke. Especially because you have to swing and you
a
use it
lot of
so much.
bones
Like
in the hand. The hamate, it's like hundreds of little
I,
minor.
I really think they're underplaying the severity of that.
Yeah.
But we'll
Yeah,
see.
and if this injury was known, why was he pushing so hard to? You wonder why was he pushing so hard to play in the WBC?
My friend Ray just said it's a big loss for Puerto Rico. Well, he wasn't going to
Yeah.
play regardless, even without this. But like, I don't know. Like, was
Hmm.
this just for cup? Was just discovered now? Like, was he going to try to play through this? And the other thing, like, I don't know about that. Like, what is like? I don't know
Yeah,
if how long it's been known. I don't know if you know anything more than I do.
he had an operation over the offseason to clean up
Okay,
something in his elbow.
I know that. Yeah.
Right, but this isn't that was the World Baseball Classic stuff. Like
Yes.
that's why all of that stuff, which is just crazy to even think about that he's not
Yeah.
playing it. But yeah, this is I didn't know really about this, right? I
Hmm.
don't think this was really a known thing. Like we knew about his back, we've known about the elbow. Now we got a hand problem. I mean, it's not good. And I'm not saying he's an injury prone player. Something I love about Lindor, he plays 162 when he can, but
Yes.
you got to take the slow road here, man. These years are too important to the Mets. They just are. If you're 36, 37 at the end of your career, take as much time off as you need, but don't don't risk games when you're still in your prime or at the back end of it. So
I agree
And
with you
Lindor's
100%.
historically is a very slow starter. I remember last year
yeah,
he had like an 0 for 18 stint to begin the season, and
Hmm.
he didn't do that well in April. And if he does start the year on the IL, I think that's going to push him back a lot.
yeah, till the middle of at least April, probably beginning of May. I mean, probably a similar Anthony Volpe timetable to give it to the Yankee. I mean, I know he's going to start going. I think he's already starting to throw and hit and try to get some of the foundation stuff. But Lindor, you gotta take the time that you need. The beginning of the year, as you said, Jared, it's not good to him, and it never really has been. So I don't know if it's the cold weather. It could be something with that,
Yeah.
but yeah, take the time you need, man. Get the surgery.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
You know.
Yeah, and then kind of shifting off to the Soto news, he's
Yep,
moving to
Soto.
left field. Stearns, he doesn't think it's related to metrics, but how do you feel about this Soto news moving to left field?
I think it's smart, and I think for him, he's played 406 games, 460 games in right field in his career, and he's played 600 and something. Sorry, I had that reversed. 600 in right and like 400 in left, rough numbers. So he's played a good amount in left field with the Padres. He was playing it with the Nationals. So to see this happen, I'm all for it. Like I remember going to the Subway Series last year, got there a couple hours early. Who's in left field with Antoine Richardson working on his approach to left center? Juan Soto. So
Hmm.
in my head, I'm sitting here saying that's weird. And this was throughout the same week when people were going crazy over the FNY video of him playing first base. So everyone's like, "Oh, Soto's going to play a new position." I look at left field, and I always like left field, and I'm happy that the Mets finally understand that too. It's a little bit easier than right field at Citi Field the way it plays, just dimensions and stuff like that. That's why you could throw Brandon Nimmo out and left, and nobody really batted an eye. As poorly defensively as he was, you never really noticed because left field is pretty much everything in. And then if it's the corner, it's a pretty easy bounce. Right field, you deal with like really weird bounces, some of the jags out to right center. So yeah, I think it's a good move in general, and one that probably should have happened earlier if you want the truth.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something that could be better for them. Like when you look at the dimensions of the field, I know that David Stearns said that he didn't want him shifting from left to right because of the WBC and stuff like that. So I think I don't know how much better it makes him. Like it might help a little bit.
Hmm.
I think he's gonna be the same. Honestly, like he might
Yeah,
make him a slightly better on defense, like you said, because there's not as much ground to cover. It's not like Yankee Stadium when there was a 0% chance of him being in left field. Like complete polar opposites.
right.
So I get that. And then something else with that is like where do you think that puts the right field debate? Now it turns into a left field competition into a right field competition. So that's kind of interesting as well. You just shifted the corner competition side. Lindor might be out, so that might change some stuff. I was going through some stuff with Jared, or someone else messaged me this. I think it was Jared. He was like, "This would be the worst defense of all time." Vientos, Bichette, and then Soto on left, like the worst left side of the fields ever. I was like, "No, no, no, no! You got to put Brett Beatty at third base at least, and then like I guess the rest of you have to live with, and then like right field, probably Carson Bench, right? I think that's my leader in the clubhouse still, most likely."
That's my guess. If you want the truth, there's a mix right now in right, unless we're trading for Aaron Judge, which I don't think the Yankees want to do, and they will left. But right field's going to be probably bench. Yeah, I think Taylor is in that mix. I don't think Beatty is a right fielder, so I'm not going to even entertain that.
I agree with you
But
there.
yeah, I think Tyrone Taylor or Carson Bench is going to be that right fielder. MJ Melendez also could be in that mix who the Mets got this week. So I think they have guys they can throw out there. I'm not so confident any of them are true right fielders at this point. So that's a pretty big concern if you want the truth. But yeah, I don't think it's the end of the world. I think they'll figure it out. And Benj will eventually be ready to the point where he's playing that position pretty comfortably.
Yeah, I think I was gonna say it's not the end of the world because I think Benj can easily develop into a right fielder. I wouldn't, and I think he did like mainly center in the minors, but
Yeah.
obviously he can play the corners too. He's a really good athlete, as you know. He used to pitch, so I don't think right field's gonna be that big of an issue for him. He has a great arm, obviously, so that is something that might make more sense to put him into right because he. I don't know Soto actually throws it well too. Though that's the one thing he does well on defense, but
Mhm.
Bench definitely probably has a better arm than Soto, I would imagine. But we'll have to see how that goes. I think Melendez could be an interesting under the radar pick out of camp because, like, we've seen him get hot on stretches before. He did have some success with Kansas City. Well, if he has a really good spring trade, he kind of takes the job. Like, he has that hot little stretch to begin the season, and then, like, maybe it fades in April or March.
Right.
And April or May, I meant, and then like Binge takes over at that point. Maybe that's a scenario as well.
Yeah.
But my money says that Binge would start opening day if I had to pick right now. We'll have to see.
He better be on this team. I mean, the amount that we've
He
heard
should.
about
He
Carson
should.
Ben,
Yeah.
it's borderline egregious at this point. Like, he better be a pretty good player. The expectations are pretty high.
Okay,
Yeah.
I can tell you some stuff because I spoke with him a couple of times. If you
Wow.
want, and
Cool.
I went to Port of St. Louis last year. I talked with him, and then last year I saw him in Double A when he was playing with the Rumble Ponies at Somerset. I think he is going to be as good as advertised. The only thing I question is his demeanor because he's very soft spoken. But like my friend was like Brandon Nimmo came from Wyoming and figured it out. I was like, true. So I guess he might be okay. I was like, that's a good point. I was like, all right, I'll give you that one. So like, I definitely think it's really interesting how that might end up going, but I think he's a good hitter. The power will probably come more as he gets more experience. He's a good contact back, can steal a few bags. Like defense is pretty good. I think he'll give a nice floor at the bottom of the lineup. We'll just have to see how he adjusts to the major league hitting.
Real quick on that point of him being soft spoken, not to cross sport reference, but it'll make sense. Jordan Clarkson with the Knicks right now, kind of getting run out of New York because he's a soft spoken guy. It doesn't
Oh
seem like
yeah,
he's going back and forth with fans on DMs. It's like
oh yeah.
he's got to be cut for New York in some way too. And we're talking New York all the time. We think it's so easy to play here.
It's not easy.
Like one of the toughest adjustments for these guys to make at the end of the day. So yeah, that'll remain to be seen with Bench, but I think he'll be fit for it.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, yes, Bench is not a guy that'll go back and forth with the media. I think if anything, it would be too much for him. I think it would be like opposite. Clarkson's a little bit of a hothead, but like he has to figure it out because they're not trading him now. So, and he has some good stretches. So, like he's always a little Jekyll and Hyde. But I am a Knicks fan too. But
There you go.
so yeah, I do know what you're talking about. Okay, so let's take a look right now about some other stuff. I do like that
Yeah,
discussion,
I've a
and
I have a question for you, Dan. Actually,
Yeah.
knowing all the additions and subtractions right now, how do you think David Stearns rebounded after losing out on Edwin Diaz and Pete Alonso?
I think it was exceptional, Jared. I do. And it's not very often that you see an off season like this. You get some of this stuff figured out, like, oh, the Mets needed a center fielder. They could have traded for one, but that probably would have been as much as they would have done. They would have rolled with Beatty or Vientos at third, Lindor at short, probably kept McNeil or traded him and got another guy in here. But in general, one or two of those moves would have been the Mets' big move in the past. He did it all in one offseason. If you want the truth, he did it all in a matter of like 72 hours. The way that Bichette came and they pivoted from Tugger and they got Robert and Peralta. So
yeah,
it was very well done. I'm very happy with what he did with all.
he pulled off a miracle in the bottom of the seventh inning. Basically,
Right.
that's basically what took place. Because I didn't think it was too good either until I saw those three things happen. I was very questionable about it. I'll say two things here. First of all, my buddy Ray is right. It is the hardest place to play because the fans are on top of you. They're letting you know when you stink. Like they're in the DMs. They're nasty. They're loud. They're booing you. Like it's really an unforgiving place and an unforgiving environment. And for both New York teams. And I think it's like I can't say this as a fan, but like I feel like if the fans are a little more chill, I think it would help some players. That's like all I'm gonna say. I really think it would make a difference. They won't be obviously, but yeah, it's just a thought of mine.
Sure. These fans are
I
they'll
mean,
rip it
yeah,
apart, man.
yeah. You've heard Boos rained down from Yankee Stadium at Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton. So they were
Yeah.
ruthless.
Even Derek Jeter got booed, I think, and Mariano maybe at
Oh, of
some
course.
certain points in time.
You guys remember Carlos Rodon giving kisses to the
Oh
fans in the
God, and that
bar?
was on the road too. Oh man, like even on the road, like that's how crazy it gets sometimes. Like there's like man,
Well, for
it's
my Mets fans, real quick, we all remember thumbs down.
oh
Thumbs down.
God,
Oh my
oh
goodness,
boy,
crazy.
yeah, that's like the pinnacle of it right there. And the funny thing is, it actually ends up working, which I thought would be. I thought I was gonna blow up, but it actually ends up working. So that was like an interesting thing there. So what?
One more thing I had on the Bichette signing. I mean, you got to be really happy with that. You steal him from a division rival.
Turned down 7 years. I mean, yeah, I think he wants to be here, and I think the Mets look at Bichette and say, okay, we want to have you here long term. Like, I think they put the opt outs in just because of the unknown with the lockout. Yeah, you'll get paid. We'll give you 5 years, and I think Bichette's here a long time.
Yeah, the only thing is I could definitely see him opting out if he has a big year,
Oh
and we.
yeah, sure.
But you just have to take care into the extension if he does that, or whatever. Like
Right.
it was just definitely possible as well. Daniel Vogelback, oh boy, that's a tough one.
Oh, God. That's a name I didn't think I'd hear today, but yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So Jared brought up a lot of good stuff. So with that being said, letter grade A to F after everything that happened. What grade does David Stearns get this offseason?
Wow. Wow. I'm gonna give it a B plus.
I think that's fair.
I can't give it an A minus just because of the lack of power in the middle of this lineup. 6 through 9 still feels like a black hole, and we still don't have a true number one or a closer. Like I could keep going. Like it's pretty.
Yeah,
Yeah. But in
but
general, yeah,
yeah.
it's a B plus, I would say.
I'll give you two counterpoints that you'll like. I think you have a close enough to a true number one with McLean and Peralta. One of them should emerge as a true one. You would hope. If not, you have two very strong twos potentially, which isn't awful. So I'll give you a silver lining there because you could argue Peralta's an ace depending how you look at it. But like he's not perfect. Like there's probably 10 pitchers better than him, I would imagine, in the league if I had to guess. But like. And then another thing is the bottom of the lineup has some hope, I think, because like Simeon's definitely a question mark, but he is a pro, so like maybe he'll figure it out. Luis Robert, can you get him back to what he's been and not get hurt so much? Maybe. I think Brett Beatty will be good. You started to see the arrow go up a little bit. And then I think that's like your six. That's and then Alvarez. Yeah, like I do see the questions here. Like Alvarez has to stay healthy, but like it has a chance. I don't think it will be quite as bad as last year for some reason. Maybe I'm wrong, but like I think it'll be a little bit better at the bottom. Do I worry about that middle area? Yeah, because like Alonso, it's a lot of pop. I don't know if they necessarily replace that the right way. Polanco will be solid. Like I said, I don't love his defensive fit, but we'll have to see. I don't know if Bo's gonna be the best at third, but like offensively, I think it should work. The closing situation, yeah, I mean, Diaz going was probably the toughest blow beside to the whole offseason, even because Alonso I kind of expected because like the Mets didn't really want to pay him a long term deal, and the Orioles were desperate to do something, and that just matched them perfectly. So the Diaz was surprising. So I would probably go B-ish too, like maybe B to B plus in my estimation as well if I had to grade it.
Yeah, I mean, the Diaz stuff was very surprising, and it was really unfortunate because all he did, he just wanted to win, and that's very unfortunate because you could have had him, you had him at the right money, but he just wanted to win at the
Yeah,
end
it
of the
was
day.
only a $3 million difference. He just wanted to go, and he didn't give them a chance to counter. Like the Mets probably would have countered and like matched them, maybe went higher, but he just wanted to go get that and chase the ring, and like that's what guys are doing with the Dodgers now. And speaking, that's a great segue to this. Oh, okay, I didn't mean to do that, but what the hell, sorry. Okay, what do you guys think of a potential lockout in 2027? Because I believe that's happening, and it's sad. And that goes into the Dodgers situation with guys trying to just go to the Dodgers to get chips. Like Kyle Tucker took the cheap way out. He could have went to more money with Toronto, even though it was a although that's a hard deal to turn down. His defense because it's so high for 4 years. But Toronto had 10 for 350 on the table, and he still wanted to go join the Dodgers and ring chase and get his money now. So like is culminating into a potential work stoppage because if the Dodgers three-peat, everyone's gonna feel like they have no chance, and like the money's so unequal right now. Like, so I don't know where that's all gonna sit.
I have a hard time believing that the Dodgers are not going to win the World Series this year.
Me
I
too, unfortunately.
completely agree with you. But I always chalk it up to like the 15 or 20% that is baseball and just
Yeah.
the randomness of the game. And people say,
Hmm.
oh, I'm packing it in. The Dodgers already won. you're not a real baseball fan. You don't understand how this game works. I know you
Yeah.
guys do. I know I do. There's a
Yes.
lot of fans that just say, "Oh, they can't be beaten." Did you watch 2023? Did you watch how two teams came out of nowhere and were in the World Series together? Like, I don't know. It's the beautiful thing about the game, and I think the Dodgers are going to be very good, but they're not unbeatable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think the
I
Mets can beat them,
100% agree with
honestly.
that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I mean, looking at the Super Bowl this year, it was a completely blowout. They have a salary cap. Looking at the World Series last year, what that was one of the greatest World Series I've ever watched. Probably the greatest World Series I'll ever watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I was gonna say, like the Blue Jays were right there too. For as big as the Dodgers have had an advantage, like the Blue Jays really almost had them. Like it was right there for the taking. They just didn't execute it properly. Like they were 2 outs away from winning the World Series. So it gets chalked up as Dodgers went back to back. We knew it the whole time. I mean, yes and no because they did what they we thought they would do, but it wasn't the way of dominance that anyone thought. Cause like, the regular season was mediocre, which doesn't even matter to them anymore. Obviously, like they'll sleepwalk and win 90 to 95 games and probably win the division again. Because I don't know who's going to really push them. The Padres are kind of going the wrong way. The Giants are questionable to me still. They've done some stuff, but they're not close to the Dodgers. Like the regular season's going to be a slog for them. They're going to get up for October. They're going to be a tough out. But could someone pick them off? I mean, sure, it's possible. I'm not going to completely say no, but it's tough to say with confidence of a team that's better than them right now at the same time. Like I can't find a team that's better. Like I can't see that. It would like you said, it's baseball. Like they have to get upset. Like something has to happen. We need an overperformance. We need some new trades. Like some injury issues which they've had and overcame the last 2 years also. So that's not even a full answer either. But like there could be a way to pick them off, I suppose. Like the National League is getting tougher. Like the American League kind of beefed up a little bit. So, but I'm not sure if anyone improved as much as them still, which is crazy.
Nobody came close to what the Dodgers did. What, $2 billion in deferred payments on their books? That
Yeah,
that needs to be addressed in the CBA. I'm sorry, that's ridiculous.
yeah, it's a problem, and I don't know how they're gonna fix it. Cause like once you get into that category, like how do you undo what's been done already? Like you can't go back and get rid of a contract. Like that's how this is gonna be a disaster. Like it's gonna be rough. Like I'm not. No one should be looking forward to if they like baseball. It's gonna be horrible.
Yeah, right when the game is expanding and viewership's going up, you got podcasts all over the place, spaces, you got people talking about baseball again. Like it's just going to kill all momentum, and baseball has nobody to thank but themselves if they do go to establish. But I don't know if they will. If you want the truth, I think they'll get it figured out one way or the other. Whether they push off salary cap, salary floor stuff till the next CBA, they've done that already. I don't think
Oh,
that's wise
okay.
to do because it's such a problem at this point. Like if you're the Rockies, you're calling Rob Manfred probably twice a day saying, "Can you please help us? Like
Yeah.
we can't compete."
Yeah, there's so many teams like that. I'm sure, like the Guardians don't even have $100 million payroll, but some of that's on them too. Like they got to start spending more. Like they're just
Yeah,
being cheap with it. Like you gotta hold them accountable as well, because like these owners all have more money, they just don't want to spend it. So let's not get that confused.
hmm
Can they spend to the level of the Dodgers, Yankees, or Mets? No, they can't. But they could do more than what they're doing and not create such a big disparity. Like the Marlins are starting to figure it out a little bit, even though they're not spending that much. At least the team's going in the right direction. Like there are some teams that are starting to figure it out a
even the
little bit.
Pirates.
Pirates, another example.
I'm
Yes.
happy. I'm really happy for the Pittsburgh Pirates fans this offseason. Go and get Ozuna. They're building a decent team. They realize, hey, we have a pretty good starting rotation. If we just added a couple of bats, our division's a joke every year. Let's go and win it.
Yeah, maybe they'll try to get Paredes, like we talked about a little bit. Like he's still out there to be had potentially in the market. And the White Sox too. Look at the White Sox. They decided to just get going too, and they're a big market team, and they're in Chicago technically. So they're even though they're the second every team, they're still technically a big market team. So like they can spend the money. It's not gonna hurt them. Like some of these teams just have to start spending a little bit more, to, like make it better for themselves. But it is a big disparity that has to be addressed with something like you said. Does the deferments are a problem? Like, do you make the penalties harsher for going over certain numbers? Maybe so the teams are more reluctant to do it because now the penalties aren't enough clearly because everyone's still going over. So it's only stopping some teams, not everyone. So like you do need to even some stuff, and then the players don't want to have a cap. Yeah, that's going to be a huge issue. No player wants a cap, but they're taught not to have a cap. And then, like, if it goes to the beginning of June next year, I'd be nervous. Yeah, I could see like a few months maybe there's definitely going to be a few months in the off season that it has to get figured out. Hopefully, they don't delay the season. If they do, it's only a small one, I guess.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we should transition. Um, a guy I linked to the Mets personally that I do think they should sign is Zach Gallen. And if you see it in the bottom, Zach Gallen, since 2019, since debuting, he's been on the injured list 4 times. And I think having that health and stability in that pitching staff, where you saw it crumbled last year in middle of the season, and then the entire season fell with it. And having a guy that could stay healthy, that could get you 150 innings pitched. He had a bad year last year, but he's been consistently good over the past since 2019, since coming up.
I like Zach Gallen a lot. My question to you, Jared, would be who are you replacing him with in the Mets
Yeah,
rotation?
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Let's go through it.
that's where the problem comes in.
Because I would give up the qualifying
Mhm.
offer to get him. I'm very dedicated to getting Zach Gallen, but it's someone probably Peterson would be my guess. But again, like, could you trade Senga? Now,
Yes.
well,
Yeah.
you can, of course, but now that spring's begun and it becomes a lot
Hmm.
harder to do these things. Um,
Outside, yeah. I mean, look at the rotation, and it's like Peralta, McLean aren't going to go nowhere. Obviously,
mhm.
Clay Holmes isn't going anywhere. He's signed for a few years, and he did well last year, so you don't want to touch him. Is there wiggle room with Senga? Absolutely. Yeah, you could do something there. You're going to have to eat some money probably because he's been very hurt the last 2 years, but it's possible. They've eaten money before. Could you do that? I'm sure. Mania is a huge question mark. You can't trade him. You're stuck with him. Peterson probably still has some value to your point, but then you don't want to do that because then you have no lefties, and then because Mania might be a problem. So like it isn't. They might be kind of pigeonholed here, unless they trade Senga. If Manaya's not healthy, and then Gallen slides in as like the 3 or 4, and you go from there, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
looking at it, it's definitely a lot harder than saying it, but it would make definitely the rotation a
sure.
little bit more clunky. But
That's a great
Coda,
1 through 3. If you had Peralta, McLean, and Zach Gallen, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, because I think he could be fixed. I know the metrics didn't look good last year, but I think it was a one-off because he's been good for a while. You just have to wonder what went wrong. Like, did the contract year get in his head, or like was Arizona as a whole really didn't pitch too well? Like if you look at like all of them, honestly, so I don't know what was going on last year. Their hitting was still really good. They just didn't get anybody out really or enough. But I think Gallen's a good Mets fit if they could trade Senga somehow, I guess. But it's not the easiest thing to do. I do like him for the Orioles, and I know that was mentioned today. There's been Padres, Cubs, and return to D-backs rumors also.
I think he goes back
yeah,
to Arizona.
Maybe.
yeah, I agree. They desperately need pitching.
I kind of like the Baltimore fit because I feel like they're still sniffing around and like they might need to like get something else, and he could be that something else that won't be too crazy of a contract. But that's not the easiest place to pitch either because I think they put the fences back in, so it's not going to be like. Yeah, that's been an interesting thing. But yeah, D-backs are in play still. You wonder if he wants a fresh start, if he wants to try to regroup with them. He's probably going to take like a 1 year deal with a bunch of options at this point in the game. Semi high AAV. He's got to get going because pitchers are reporting, and he doesn't want to be behind the 8 ball after his bad season last year. So I expect a decision like soon. Honestly, like it
He's a
has to be
local
within the
guy
next few.
too, right?
Yes, he is a Jersey guy. That's right. He is a
Yeah.
Jersey guy. Good call there.
So maybe.
And and Dan, I have another question for you.
Yeah.
I remember one of your main points in the beginning of the off season was that you can't let the Mets go into the season with McLean as your one. How do you feel about this Mets starting rotation coming into the season?
I'm honestly over the moon. In the way that they improved the top of it, 1 through 6, I'm not too ecstatic about if you want the truth, but you have Peralta and McLean. I mean, that can win you a wild card series on their own where you don't even need a game 3. I mean, that's very enticing. I would have liked a little bit more if you want the truth. Like I would have liked to sign a Framber Valdez, maybe another lefty, so I could trade Peterson. Um, and maybe just aim high for like a Sandy or something. I know these guys didn't get moved, but we saw Edward Cabrera get moved. So I don't know. I thought there was more to be done with the rotation, but they believe in their guys. They brought in Tobias Myers. He's apparently going to be worked up as a starter this spring training. So they have their guys, man. I'm not happy with some of these names, but in general, I'm pretty happy with the top of the rotation.
Yes, good shot there because I think they tried for Edward Cabrera. I'm pretty sure, but obviously the Cubs offered a pretty good package with Owen Casey that the Yankees and Mets couldn't really top. I mean, the Mets could have. Yankees would have had a harder time doing it probably. I mean, the Mets prospect system pool is just better than the Yankees right now by a lot, honestly.
Mhm.
Even with after the trades with Jet Williams and Sproat. And I know you had to be very happy with the deal. I thought it was a win-win for both sides, honestly, because I felt like the Mets got what they needed. The Brewers didn't sell him for pennies. Jet Williams could be a good player for them. I'm not like such a big Sproat guy, but maybe they could do some fix him in a way that I'm not seeing. But so I don't even mind the Mets getting rid of him. Honestly, I've said it a few times. I would have been more worried if they sent Tom to Milwaukee,
Mhm.
but I think they made the right call there, not doing that. So we'll have to see what he does because the Brewers have a good pitching lab, so maybe they'll fix him or whatever. He wasn't awful, just was a small sample size. Like he hasn't really had put away stuff based on what I saw though. Like there's nothing that really you're like, oh, you don't have to worry about this with him.
Keeping Tong was great. I'm very happy they chose to keep Tong and deal Sproat. They're okay with the return. Like if there's no contract extension with Freddie Peralta, they're okay with giving up Williams and Sproat and getting Tobias Myers too. So at least we know that. I want the extension though. If you are going to give up two top prospects, yeah, I would like to see a decent deal at the end of that. But if that's not the case, this Mets farm system better have multiple guys like this that we can turn year after year for names like Freddie Peralta and not have to worry about, oh, we lost Jet Williams. Oh, we lost Brandon Sproat. No, we have two other guys coming up that can replace them in a year. So that's the beautiful thing. As you said, oh, the Mets have a great farm system. We're seeing it in real time. Like the wheels are getting going. But if there's no contract extension and these players end up turning out to be great and we don't have many other prospects coming behind, then I'm going to start to worry. But right now, I'm pretty happy with what the Mets did.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I think Ray asked who the agent was. I think he's a Boris guy, Zach Gallen.
Mhm.
So that's definitely could be a problem for him because we know how Boris is, and they're definitely going through it right now. Because like if he comes into camp late after the year he had last year, I just think it's a recipe for disaster. Like he's got to sign soon. Like I'm thinking like this week or like even within the next few days. Like something's got to happen here.
He probably wants the years.
Yeah, he's just gonna have to do the flyer 1 year and do it again next year. I don't even think he would. I don't even honestly like after the year he had last year. It makes more sense for him to do it that way anyway.
Right.
But he's maybe not getting the right money per year. Like, but either way, hopefully for his sake, he gets figured out soon.
Like a 2 for 20. I don't even know. 2 for 40. 2 for
50 maybe, like
probably
something.
better, right? Yeah, with an opt out, and I would do that all day. But you're giving up a qualifying offer, which I do think is hurting him as
That's
well.
another thing as well, because like he didn't pitch well, and you had to go with draft pick for him, so that's not helping. The qualifying offer is so annoying. I feel like it should be abolished. I think it's really dumb, honestly. I'm like over the qualifying
Put
offer.
it in the CBA. Let's go.
Yeah, if you wanted my hot take, get rid of the qualifying offer. I don't even think that's that hot. I think most people probably would agree with me. I
If
think it's
that
just like
wasn't a thing, I don't think
semantics.
Trent. If that wasn't a thing, I don't think Trent Grisham is on this Yankees team right
Oh
now.
yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
maybe not. That's even more of a reason
He's
for me
probably
to want to
happy.
get
Yeah,
rid of it. But like, yeah, it's like I didn't love that, but we'll have to
Yeah.
see. It's like semantics to qualify offer to me. It just feels unnecessary, honestly.
yeah. No, that's fair. I get it.
But it is part of the game. Maybe they will switch out the new CBA. All right, I'm trying to
Um.
think what else. So, how do you feel about the bullpen with the Yankees crossovers? Like, and what is your take on all this Yankee Met crossover stuff? Like, is it getting to a point now? It's like getting ridiculous to you. Like, do you find it funny? Do you think it's like some of it's too much? Like, I'm kind of curious how Met fans view the crossovers these days, or like anyone with the Mets.
We could certainly talk Yankees at the end too. And
Yeah,
yeah,
we will.
I think with Mets fans are just going to blow it all out of proportion. Oh, they got another Yankee. The Mets are doing this on purpose. That's not true. Stearns isn't sitting up there with Cohen in his office. What's the next Yankee that we can take? That's not what they're doing. But I think what Stearns says every time he gets asked the question is, we look for good players. The Yankees happen to have some good players, and That would have been the case if they were Orioles or Rays or any of these guys. So I think it's just funny that it's happening that way. I know the one that hurts the most is Juan Soto, and ever since then, we've kind of just been looking for other Mets to sign with the Yankees or Yankees to sign with the Mets. But I
Yeah.
think in general, it's just more fans kind of blowing it out of proportion.
Yeah, it's been a lot.
Yeah, there's
The
always
list
going
is
to be
very
banter
long.
across towns.
Like even executives too, Billy Epler, you got the coaches, Mendoza here now. Like, oh my
Omar Minaya
God,
too,
not
Matt
right.
Yankee, like yeah,
Buck
Mendoza, Yankee, Matt, yeah, Buck to them both, like
Luis Rojas.
Paul, 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 Paul Blackburn, I'm at Rosario.
Oh, oh, Tim Castro, there's one for you.
Yeah, that was a fun
Yeah.
one for both sides, I guess. Like,
Luis Torrens.
yep, that was another one under the radar as well. Clay
Yeah,
Holmes, obviously
Clay
another one,
Holmes.
went with Juan
Yeah.
Soto. That turns out better than I think most Yankee fans thought it would, to be honest with you. Although we wore down at the end, but I think overall the Mets have to be happy with how that went, and we'll see how he does here too as a starter. But yeah, I think like Devin actually should be fine because he did look better towards the end of the year. I'm a little bit more worried about Luke Weaver actually because I feel like Weaver, I'm not. He was very injured and he only had one good full season. So like I don't really know what he fully is. Like, could he be good? Yes, as long as he's healthy. I think. Let's talk about the Yankees bag. I guess now. Like Luke, what are you doing, bro? You made 22 million bucks. Like, just get yourself a new bag. Like, why you be? How can you be that lazy, dude? Like, it's like I don't know if he was trying to troll or be funny because like my buddy Keith said he is a troll sometimes and does weird stuff, but like that's even a little bit much for him. He probably just forgot. I was like, oh crap, I don't have another bag. But like, bro, you have like millions of dollars. Just get yourself a bag. Or like, why couldn't someone from the Mets just like ship him a Mets bag? Like,
Yeah, the Mets should have done it ahead of time. I think that would have been the best scenario for all parties. But
probably.
yeah, let's get ahead of this. You know you're going to be on camera going into spring training. Let's get the Mets bag. But yes, in general, we saw this with Nick Madrigal last year. He came over from the Cubs. He had a Cubs bag, and
It
everybody
happens a lot. Yeah.
right. And then these guys the next day they have a Mets bag, and everything's good. So I think a lot of it again just for fans, and it's fun talking points, of course. But it's not like Luke Weaver's sitting there saying, "Oh, I'm gonna get one back at the Met fans here." I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's I've seen it before. Like Devin Williams certainly didn't have a Yankees bag, though I'm sure. But like,
Oh, I'm very glad he didn't. I don't think he likes the Yankees at all.
yeah, although he doesn't mind New York apparently, so I
Yeah.
mean that's an interesting thing there. But I think he'll be a decent closing. I think the bullpen is probably the Mets' biggest cause for concern right now as a whole, like the middle areas and like if Devin is locked down and is Luke Weaver the setup man. Like, do you think there could be a move coming in the Mets bullpen? Didn't they do a minor move today for someone? I want to
Yeah,
say who?
Daniel Hudson.
There we go.
So they're adding another lefty in the mix. I don't think Minter's going to be ready by opening day.
Doesn't look like it.
I was under the impression I thought he'd be basically ready to go, but there is a little bit of a setback for him. So you'll have Brooks Raley, and then you'll have Daniel Hudson to begin the year. That's cool with me. Like, these are the little moves. That's why I say probably no to your answer. If are they going to make any more moves? I mean, maybe a Vientos trade, on the offensive side. Pitching in this bullpen, they have so many guys in the minor leagues that they're just going to clog a spot, and they don't want to do that. I don't think.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
wonder if Kopech could be a Yankee target still. I've talked about that a
Yeah,
lot. Like, I want to see them do that. There's been some interest and stuff. I think the Yankees need some bullpen help too in the middle. Like, their back
yeah,
end's fine with Cruz and Bednar in theory, and like Duvall was better in the postseason. Tim Hill's good situationally, but like I've said a few times, other than those four, you a lot of questions in there. So I think they should get someone. Kopech would be another question too, I guess, but you might as well throw someone that has like a decent track record into the mix despite being banged up last year. And then that's really the best free agent reliever left. I think there's a few other guys, but he's probably the best one with the highest ceiling, I would think.
yeah. I mean, the Yankees again, their bullpen. They have pieces. Like I think a lot of the young pups, as Cashman says, like a Ben Hess, Lagrange, ERC. Like a lot of these arms are going to be big pieces for you guys, and I'm excited. Like the big pieces already, but I think giving that opportunity, similar to what the Mets do, where they want these young kids to play, that's going to be what the Yankees are doing. Your rotation, I love your guys' rotation. If you want the truth, I think it could potentially be the best rotation in Yankee history when it's all said and done. I'm that confident that you're going to be very happy. I don't want to tell you as a fan, as a Yankee fan, obviously, but outside looking in, your rotation is loaded.
Yeah, I mean, overall, if I had everyone healthy, like I would say, I agree with you. If I was starting a season with Cole, Rodon, Freed, Schlittler, and then you have Heel, Warren, or Weathers as a five, then I'm gonna have to agree with you most likely. I just don't know if we're gonna get it all together at one time, and that's what scares me. Because like you know how this stuff goes, you're already starting the year behind the eight ball without two of them. So what? Max Fried has some injury history. Like I spoke about Heel the other day. Like Warren's been relatively healthy. Weathers is a walking injury basically, so we gotta hope he can somehow stay healthy. Could they fix something with him mechanically? Is there a reason why he keeps getting hurt? Like is it the way he's training? Is it the way he throws the ball? Like something's not right because he's barely pitched in his career. Can they clean that up? Whatever it is, because when he throws, he's pretty good, but like he needs to be out there way more. And but if they do that and they have those four, one of those three as a five, then yeah, it could be one of the best in the league and one of the best they've had. Just because you know how good Cole, Freed, and Rodon are, you know what Cam Swiller could potentially be, and then if you're mixing and matching those guys at the five, all those guys are solid fives with like decent floors for a fifth starter. So like, you definitely do have some good points there. I just hope they're all together at once.
Yeah, I think by June, July, whenever Cole's back, I think June, and then you'll have everything hopefully rolling by then. And then your bullpen, I think your guys, like in general, the arms for the Yankees on the bullpen side, you guys always have a good bullpen. Like always, year after
So
year.
last year they didn't though. Last year was a
Yeah,
little
Yeah.
surprising.
yeah, sure. I think you'll get some of that out. Maybe it was a little bit of Luke Weaver, Devin Williams kind of causing some bad stuff. I know
Part
Jake.
of it.
Yeah, Jake Bird wasn't great
Definitely.
coming over here. He looked like a
No.
mess. I mean, Bednar was great down the stretch for you guys. So I don't know,
Mhm.
man. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I mean they
Yeah, I
took
mean,
some shots.
I'm very excited to see David Bednar close out a lot of the games. And one thing that scares me about this starting rotation is Carlos Rodon is starting the year on the IL. And
Mm.
last year, he had an injury riddled season with the Yankees. Was his first year when he had a 6 ERA.
Oh yes, I remember because I was there at spring training that year. That was a nightmare, that whole thing, and he just never got it together. Like you hope it's not another situation like that because like he does have an extensive injury history, and last year was pretty healthy until the end. So like that was part of the stuff I was talking about, basically in essence of having them all together at one time, which is not a guarantee, but like they do have enough depth to withstand and mix and match certain things, which is also good. And like the three guys you mentioned are all going to play a part if they don't get traded in deals because Hess was almost traded for Edwin Cabrera. The Yankees would have sent him to the Marlins for Cabrera. That trade didn't happen, obviously. I feel like Elmer and Granhe would be harder to pry away from them, but there could be a deal at the deadline that sends Hess somewhere, maybe. Like, you got to see how it's all going to come together. But I think all three, if they don't get traded, could definitely see the Bronx this season, probably at different points. With Elmer being knocking on the door right now, basically.
Got to put a little English on that myself. La Granje.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, Granhe, yeah.
yeah, yeah. It doesn't read like it says. I'll tell you that. But yeah, I like this Yankee team in general. Like offensive side of the ball, like it. I know the big knock is, oh, they're bringing everybody back.
Yeah,
That's not a knock. I mean, you guys won 94 games and got beat by a team that went to the World Series. Like, that's baseball, Susan. I don't know what else to really say.
that's funny because that's exactly what they would say. That's the exact answer you would get
Yeah.
from them too.
I hear you.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
The PR answer from the Yankees.
Like I just want some honesty for once. It's just like all eyewash to me sometimes. Like, are they a good team? Yes. Are they a great team? I don't know. That's my issue. Like, I mean, are they elite in a certain sense? I think, but like, are they top tier? Like going to the World Series again since like
Well,
2024? No one can say that for sure. But like, they have a shot. They're the fourth highest odds right now on one of the sites. I think like they're one of the best favorites in the American League. I think the Mariners getting Donovan actually pushed them ahead of the Yankees in the odds in certain sites and stuff. So that was interesting.
I look at guys like Ben Rice, who I like a lot, love his swing. He's going to take the next step, right? I think whenever Volpe is back, he's going to hopefully, if Caballero doesn't take the job from him, hopefully give you something. If not, Volpe's out of town. Like that,
Yeah,
Anthony Volpe after this season. So
I think so too.
need some players to step up, but having one more year of experience under their belt, you need Wells to be better. That's also something you need production from him. But in general, like Bellinger's a stud, Judge is a stud, Dominguez I like, Jones and Grisham back in the fold. I think they'll be all right. Can Stanton stay healthy? That's another
That's
wild card.
well, I mean, no,
Who would
obviously.
have guessed that? Stanton staying healthy. Wow.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
mean, yeah, that's another issue. But like, Dominguez is in a weird spot right now because of bringing back Grisham and Bellinger. Like, I would have been okay with letting Grisham go. Like I've said it a few times. I just don't know if he's going to replicate what he did last year. And I feel like they could have allocated the money somewhere else. I don't think it was the best way to spend $22 million. Personally, I would have maybe they could have like added some bullpen pieces instead of that. Like, could you have added a better righty bat besides Goldschmidt returning, which I'm not in love with either. Honestly, like their bench is kind of clunky right now. It's like a lot of awkward parts that don't fully fit the puzzle. So I don't know if they're going to add anyone. That's a topic we wanted to touch on too. Like, but there's not much left. Like, do you think they'll end up adding like a righty bat somewhere?
I'd be shocked at this point,
Probably
honestly.
right. Yeah.
I'd be shocked. I mean, I'll ask you, what is like a guy like Goldschmidt's role even?
Yeah, it's a good
Um,
question.
I,
Honestly,
I, Sherman said today that he's supposed to be the platoon for Wells, and then Rice would go to
Got
catcher
it.
on those
Okay.
days.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
yeah, I
But
guess
I
that could
also
work.
think
Kinds of.
something else I really like about this offense is I think Cody Bellinger is going to take another step up offensively this season.
Mm,
Let me rant about Cody Bellinger for a
go
second.
ahead.
Um, Cody Bellinger through April 20th of last year, he had a 550 OPS. He made a
Yeah, he was
critique to his
bad.
stance. He made a critique to his stance. He put his right foot a little back. From April 20th to the end of the season, he carried a 850 OPS with a
I
140
agree with
WRC
you, Ray.
plus.
Wow.
That
I
is a good
think
point,
I
actually.
think I think Cody Bellinger will finish with a 5 to 6 WAR, and I think he'll finish in the top 10 of MVP voting.
Mm,
Oh wow. Okay, that's interesting.
That's my hot take that I was
And a
talking
little bit
about.
hot. Oh, okay. You said top 5 to 6 in MVP?
you said he's winning
Top
MVP?
10,
No.
top
Well, you
10,
said.
top
Oh, you
10.
said top 10.
The
Oh, I
top
thought you
10.
said
Yeah.
5 to 6.
Yeah.
No, five, he'll be a 5 to 6 WAR player.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. I mean, he was 5 last year, so it's possible.
Hmm.
He did start the season terribly, like you said, and then he really picked it up. Unfortunately for him, October didn't go too well, and he has to figure out how to play better in the playoffs. He hasn't been the best in the playoffs, despite the one ring he won in 2020 with LA. But he was good that postseason. But other than that, he hasn't really been a good playoff player. He had a lot of chances with the Dodgers too. He never really did it much. So like, I would see the issue I have is like the playoffs. Like I know they're gonna make the playoffs, obviously, and like Trent Grisham is another one. Like, he had a good October with the Padres against the Mets, as you probably remember, but last year he was awful down the stretch in October, like terrible. What if the league figured him out? Like that's the thing I'm worried about. Like, and you just go in the hands of $22 million after he goes what 4 for 30 in the postseason. Like I'm not in love with that still, and he's also declining defensively. Now is that a hamstring issue fully, or is there actually a decline? It's another problem. If he's healthy and plays better defense, that makes it better. But what if the defense is the same or gets worse somehow? Then like, is he worth 22? Probably not. Especially if the bat's not what it was last year. But he could still be solid. At least like hit like 20 to 25 bombs and play like average defense, and you wouldn't complain about that either as long as he plays better in October.
I mean, I tend to agree with you. I think I don't know if the defense is going to take a step back. Like offensively, that's a complete wild card. He had a career year last year. I don't know
Hmm.
what he's going to do this year offensively, but defensively, I think it was just that hamstring injury. Like,
I hope so. Yeah, we'll have to see.
yeah, I think that's why you have him here. Like, worst comes to worst, if he's not hitting, he's your fourth outfielder. That's not
Yeah,
terrible.
that's true.
Making,
I,
Yeah.
he's an expensive fourth outfielder, sure, but
but it's only a year. If it
right,
worst comes to worst, if it blows up, it blows up, and you're gone after the season. Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, and another thing, you gave him $22 million, but you still don't have a leadoff hitter. There's no leadoff hitter on this
Mm.
team. I don't know who's gonna
yeah.
lead off.
I was
Is
trying to
it gonna be
construct the
Trent Grisham again?
lineup. Yeah, I don't like that idea at all. So like, I think Kemba was saying to do that, but I wasn't in love with that idea either. I even suggested Bellinger, but like again, his on base isn't the best. But like, if you put him in front of Judge, I bet you it gets better. So that would be maybe you experiment with that. Chisholm, if he could get on more, would be the perfect guy. But like, he doesn't get on enough, and he strikes out too much probably. Maybe he can make some adjustments. But other than those three, like I don't even know who else do you even consider. Probably like I don't even Ben
Well,
Rice, I guess maybe.
this isn't going to be a thing often, but who was your opening day leadoff hitter last year?
Wells.
Yeah, I
Wells.
maybe something with that. There was also another guy, if I remember.
Goldschmidt did it a
Right.
couple times
Right.
against. That would be against the lefty probably.
I'm not suggesting that, but there's opportunities for those guys. Maybe on a Sunday afternoon. Oh, let that Goldschmidt lead off today. Give him the start. Could be
Yeah, it
something
could
like that.
happen once in a while. They'll probably mix and
Yeah.
match it a little
Your
bit.
perfect world is
I,
full of gentlemen.
That's what they wanted it to
yeah.
be, but it never really worked
No.
out that way yet.
I remember Aaron Boone saying all spring that Austin Wells will get a lot of chances at leadoff hitter. He got one chance. He had a leadoff home run. That was his only game he let off.
I thought they did it like one other time, maybe, but like
No.
either I don't understand why they didn't keep doing it because I thought it would have helped him too. I actually would have liked to keep seeing it because he's actually not that slow for a catcher either. Like he did steal a few bases in the minors. Like he's not like a blazer, but like he'll pick his spots to get a bag here and there. I didn't mind seeing it. He was actually doing well, but like it wasn't. They didn't want to do it. But I'm gonna take you off the gear a little bit. So could you tell me how you found this path and like how your career has been so far? Like what you did to get like in this post position or whatever. Like how you've enjoyed it so far.
Yeah, it's been great. Like I originally applied, I was in my final year of Fordham. I didn't have a job. I was a senior. I was graduating. I had a business degree. I was kind of scared. I didn't really know baseball was coming. I'm like, oh, I need something. And then I got an email from Fordham people that always send job applications and stuff. It was with the Post. I applied. It was visual content. It wasn't even sports. It was on the news side. And then eventually they kind of said, hey, it just kind of worked out where they needed somebody to help with the sports side. So I said, absolutely. And I took that opportunity, part-time, intern, and then full-time. And I've been very happy with working there. And yeah, a lot of it was just opportunity, just taking that opportunity. It wasn't in sports to begin with, but eventually it became what I wanted it to kind of be from the beginning. So yeah, it's been cool. Love
That's
my Mets, man. Love my New York sports.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I remember you doing some soccer stuff. I think last year you were doing some soccer stuff.
All different sports, man. Broadcasting, it's like there's so many different fields too. Like broadcasting is great. I think kind of what we do is broadcasting. If you podcast, you're kind of in that field. And then there's like the journalism stuff, which I find interesting too, like news and breaking stuff, and it's cool. So in general, like I don't even know what the future is. I just know that I'm working in social media, and that's kind of the world we're all in at this point. But yeah, it's been good.
Yeah.
yeah. So like, how do you? What's been like a highlight you've had? Like what's been like one of your favorite moments or like a favorite game you've worked or something? Because you told me you get to do some big games. Like, were you there for any of the Mets playoff run last in 2024? Or were you? Did you start after that?
Yeah, I was there more as a fan during last
Oh,
year's
okay.
one, just because I forget what the reason was. I was doing social stuff the nights that I wasn't there, but not at the games. The biggest thing that I went to was probably Game 6 for the Knicks last year in Indiana.
Oh wow, you went all the way out there. That's cool.
Yeah, so being there for that was cool. Baseball, there's been cool stuff, but it was more actually with Fordham. I haven't done many stuff baseball wise with the Post yet, but covering Hall of Fames and stuff like that. Fred McGriff, Scott Rowland's Hall of Fame induction a couple of years back, that was pretty cool. So just kind of things like that. But in general, yeah, I mean, hopefully the opportunity is going to be there, and yeah, it's been great, man.
Hey, what's up, Nathan? Thanks for popping in. And for some weird reason, this thing's not showing on Twitter how it normally does. I don't think, but I posted it differently. I don't know. Maybe when I messed with that Twitter thing, it might have did some damage, unfortunately. But yeah. So sorry
It
about that.
obviously did.
But yeah, no, it's been great. Nathan's a good friend of ours. It's definitely been a good show. Do you have any final parting thoughts, Jared? I'll probably try like one more question, maybe. I don't know if you have another one you have for him.
Hmm. Um,
The Mets will win more than 90 games, Jared.
I think. Uh,
All right, yeah, let's do some predictions then, I
uh,
guess. Wins and divisions. Do the Yankees or Mets win their division and win total for each team?
Okay, cool. Mets will win 93 games, and they will win the National League East.
Okay.
The Braves will be neck and neck with them till the end. I'm still
Yes,
not
yes.
fully convinced that the Braves are not going to win this division, but I'll pick the Mets. And then the Yankees, I'm liking. I think 94 wins, 95 wins. I
Right,
think they
like
are.
last year.
Yeah, and I think you guys finished second in your division. I
Blue
think the
Jays
Blue
first.
Jays, Blue Jays win. Yeah. Don't count out the Orioles, man. I don't know if you guys saw they have a new
Yeah.
state-of-the-art hitting facility they just opened up and stuff. So I like the Orioles, man. I know they're not going to be a big threat in terms of like winning the AL East, but they could be. I'm not going to count them out.
And Pete Alonso with that short left field is going to be a problem.
Dude, he's going to hit. Here's a little Pete Alonso prediction. He hits 50 home runs this season.
I wouldn't be surprised if he has that
Stick it right to
FUCs.
the Mets fans. Stick it right to David Stearns. Oh man, it's gonna be. Oh,
I wouldn't be surprised if he has that FU season in Baltimore. Definitely. I don't know how well it'll age, but I think next year it'll be good. Like, especially in that ballpark, I thought it was a good sign for both sides for now. Yeah, so I think those are decent win totals. I like the Braves to push the Mets too. Yankees and Blue Jays will definitely tussle. Red Sox are still in the mix, so their offense looks kind of flat, but they did upgrade their pitching a lot. So I
their
definitely think
offense, the Red Sox offense this year. They lost Bregman, and like I'm just not a believer in that team. I don't know if you guys feel different. But
I
Uh,
believe in their pitching though. Maybe
yeah,
not their offense that much.
I believe in their pitching a lot too, but I can't believe that an Alex Cora team is not gonna be in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they'll probably make it somehow, but we'll have to see how it goes. I'm kind of more worried about Detroit and Seattle. I feel like both those teams take big steps now. The Tigers, like, we could touch quick. I mean, I just love the Justin Verlander signing. It just really felt perfect. We talked about it for a little bit. Like, I wanted them to get Valdez. They did it. We were like, maybe, this is before they signed Valdez. We were like, maybe Verlander to them. They did it. So now it's like, do they get an extra righty bat? And then we're really talking. Because if the Tigers get like an extra righty bat, then like I'd be really worried about them even more. Because like that's the only thing the team's missing right now is some righty power besides Torkelson and like Torres. Because they don't really have anyone else besides those two. I think there might be one other guy, but or like some switch hitters, but no one that really scares you that much in the right side.
I really like this Detroit team. I think again, if they had one more bat, like you're saying, we forget, and I have to tell Mets fans this all the time. The Tigers collapsed worse than the Mets last year.
They did. They got lucky. They got lucky to avoid it basically because they were able to exercise the Cleveland Demon in the playoffs, but they almost missed out completely. They were very fortunate they didn't. And but before that, they were one of the best teams in the league, and now they just reshuffled the deck. So why can't they get back to playing like that again? There's no reason why I think they can't. Honestly, that division's still a joke. I mean, the White Sox got a little bit better, the Royals got a little bit better, the Guardians got worse. I mean, and the Twins are an absolute joke. I mean, the Tigers are the clear favorites in the division by again, and the Mariners should be the clear favorites in the West as well. I don't think the Astros don't scare me anymore. The A's need pitching. The Rangers are still kind of in disarray to me. Like, what is that team? Like, I don't really know. Even getting Mackenzie Gore, like their bullpen's a mess. Their lineup leaves a lot to be desired. So, I definitely think it could be Mariners. Early predictions is Mariners, Tigers, three AL East teams, and then I think I'm missing a team somewhere. I need to do six. So, I'll say like Royals get it together. There's my
Hmm.
six.
For the NL, I'll say Mets, Braves make the playoffs. Phillies, I don't know. Phillies,
Phillies are a tweener. They're a
Yeah.
tweener.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's it from the NL East. I don't think Mariners, Nationals, NL Central, the Brewers are still one of the best teams in baseball. People seem to think they're a fluke for whatever reason. I find that very weird. They're going to win 90 plus games this year. Like, they're a very good team. Have them. I have the Cubs battling out for that NL Central.
Cubs. Yeah.
Oh, Cubs could be very good, I think.
Yeah, they're kind of sneaky because I like the Bregman and Cabrera additions. Maybe the Pirates sneak in the mix if they
Yeah.
can figure out a few things, get another bat in the mix somewhere. The West is definitely Dodgers, obviously. Maybe the Giants get back in the mix. I mean,
Giants.
maybe they could use a few
D-backs, too.
tweaks, but the Giants might. D-backs could get it together if they fix their pitching. Their lineup's still really good. But yeah, I feel good about those American League League teams. National League is more tough for me. Like it's not as easy for me to pinpoint the National League. But agree with most of what you said. The Phillies still have good pitching though, so they might still be able to figure it out. Wheeler's a massive question mark, unfortunately. I hope he can at least
Yeah,
contribute this year. The lineup might
they
take a
lost.
step back. Yeah.
Yeah, Christopher
They lost
Sanchez,
Ranger and Matt Strom
right?
too.
Like Aaron Nola and Sanchez don't scare me particularly. Like I don't. I'd rather
You're
have
not
Peralta
scared
than
by
McLean.
Sanchez?
Sanchez is good.
Sanchez very good. Like an ace, probably top five pitcher in the game. But Aaron Nola is the two. I would take McLean and Peralta over there.
Lazardo's still good too, but like
Yeah,
he's feast or famine. But I still think he's solid when he's on.
that guy's a hothead, bro. Holy crap!
I like Lazardo.
Get under his skin like Vientos did last year. Holy crap!
So, that's actually something you just gave us something that we didn't even discuss. Do you actually think there's anything with the Mets and the Pirates, like this whole Vientos Beatty thing? Like the Bubba Chandler thing's probably an outreach. But what about like a Mitch Keller for like a Vientos type deal or like something in that family?
If you asked me this morning, I would have said there's a decent likelihood of that happening. After the Lindor news today and how the Mets kind of need all hands on deck.
Probably not. Yeah.
You're right. Like we kind of need three third basemen at this point. If Bichette moved to second or short, I need Vientos or Beatty to kind of help out with first and third. So this morning, yeah, but after the news today, probably not.
Okay, I'm gonna give you two challenges to end you. Maybe
Cool.
give me your starting lineup for the Mets if Lindor's healthy, like how you would play the fields, not the order, just how you would play the fields. And then if he's not healthy, give me that lineup with the fields.
I'll give you both. How about that? So leading off, playing short, Francisco Lindor. Batting second, playing left field now, Juan Soto. Batting third, playing short, Bo Bichette. Batting fourth, playing first, Jorge Polanco. Batting fifth, playing second, Marcus Simeon. Batting sixth, DHing for the Mets, Brett Beatty. Batting seventh, this is where it gets tricky, probably Alvarez behind the plate.
Yeah.
Eight becomes like Robert in center, and then nine is probably Benj in right.
Okay, that's reasonable.
And then rotation as well. I mean, Peralta, McLean. I like Holmes as the three, even though it should be Mania in a perfect world. But one or two of them, and then Senga and Peterson is the five and the six. Tobias Myers too. Can't count him out. You know. Yeah, I like this team, guys. Both teams, honestly. Both New York teams.
Both teams, yeah.
Yeah, if it was no Lindor, I'd probably just do. I'll say how. I guess I would put Bichette at short. And probably.
Without Lindor, right? Bichette goes to short would be my best guess. You have Beatty playing third. Second is still weird. I think it still remains Simeon. He's a Gold Glover. Why move him? And then first base probably Polanco, unless you need him DHing without Beatty being the DH, and then you put probably Vientos at first, which I am not happy with, but that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, I think that's all fair.
You know, unless you want Vientos playing third again as a Mets fan, I don't really think anybody does. So that's it's like me or you out there, you know, Julian and Jared out there.
Oh God,
Like
yeah. I do think he would have got traded for sure if it wasn't the Lindor situation. Now he might have to stick, but like maybe when Lindor's back, he gets traded because like I feel like he needs a fresh start and he's very displaced now. So that's cool. But do you have any final thoughts, Jared?
What was that?
That was a mistake by me.
That was my Aaron Judge ALDS.
Oh, was that Judge? I saw that.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I recorded Aaron Judge's ALDS home run from the bleachers.
Yes, and I clicked it by accident. That's what took place.
I mean,
does Judge win MVP this year?
Yes.
Does Soto win MVP this year?
Possibly,
no, because Ohtani still exists, unfortunately. But maybe not. Maybe he could overcome that somehow. Like, I mean, last year he was top three. I mean, it's possible. I just don't know how he could overcome the fact that he pitches as well. Like, it's really tough to do. But I think if anyone could do it, I guess it could be Soto. I mean, maybe Ohtani has a down year. One of them, I don't know. That's probably not. But
Say Ohtani gets hurt in the first game, can't pitch for the rest of the season, only can hit. Who do you think would win MVP?
Oh, then I'll go for Soto maybe, or I'm trying to think of someone else. Maybe a Corbin Carroll or like a or
Get
Corbin
Corbin
Carroll
Carroll.
will
Corbin
be good.
Carroll's a fun
Acuna's
one.
always in the mix.
Watch for Ellie De La Cruz this year.
Elise Cruz will be in that mix.
I turned
There's
down 225. You better be good, man. You better be good this year.
Yeah, I think he could get away more than that. I understand why he did it, but it's definitely a risk. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else, but those are some cool ones. Oh,
Tatis,
Kyle Tucker.
Tucker, Tatis.
Tatis is always in the mix. Yeah, I mean, there's so many good guys. Like, it could be a lot of them.
I feel like Betts
Mookie
Machado.
Betts for bet.
Yeah,
Mookie
yeah.
Betts redemption season.
Maybe. But I don't know if it's MVP level for redemption season, though.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it could be better than what we saw last year. But, all right. Thank you, bro. This is fun.
Absolutely. This was great, guys.
Yeah, we'll try to do a few more of these maybe before the year or something, like maybe some Subway Series action. We can see what happens.
Absolutely. Julian and Jared, this was a lot of fun.
Thank you for giving
Yeah,
us
it
your
was.
time, Dan. We definitely touched all our bases. Oh, but give your plugs to the listeners before you
Oh,
go.
Yeah.
of
Yes,
course.
let's do that.
Follow me on X, Dan Bartels 2, Instagram, Dan Bartels 1, and then follow the New York Posts on socials as well. Appreciate it.
All right, that sounds good. I don't know what happened with Twitter, unfortunately, but maybe it'll fix itself later. Like I'm gonna have to experiment with this thing later. But thank you, everyone. This was fun. Right.